Hey guys, my name is Jared Wellman. I'm a black belt under Bernardo Free and Marcos Tinoco. I'm an instructor here at the Academy. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about some goals that you need to set for yourself in Jiu-Jitsu. Some realistic goals. I don't think this is something that we always talk to our students as often as we could, or maybe we should. So it's something I want to tell you to maybe plant a seed a little bit. Think about how you approach what you want to do with Jiu-Jitsu. So when you're setting goals up, it doesn't have to be like, hey, I need to get better at my armbar or better at like my game plan. What you should think about is, what is the point of what you're getting after, right? If it's self-defense, then when you're coming in here for jiu-jitsu classes, play the game style that really works for self-defense, right? If you're doing stuff where somebody could punch you or kick you, it might be great for the sport of jiu-jitsu, might not be as good for self-defense. If you're looking to compete, well, you should be thinking about building your game. And that's hard sometimes when you're not sure what your game is. But hey, if you want to compete, do I have takedowns? Or do I like pulling guard? Or do I have some series that connects those two? And when I pull them to guard, what guard am I getting to and what grips do I need? And once I get there, what am I going to do in that guard? Do I like to sweep? Do I like to submit? And where do I want to go, et cetera, et cetera. You have to have a game plan. You can't just see what happens. I'm going to get this grip and see what happens. So if you're competing, that's one way. Self-defense, that's one way. What about exercise? I see this a lot where people say, I'm doing jiu-jitsu for exercise. And they show up and they skip the warm-ups a little bit. Or maybe at the end of class, they just stop, sit on the side of the wall as everybody talks and leave. What happened to warming up well to move like an athlete? What happened to stretching and mobility after to make sure your body recovers and is ready for the next session? It's hard stuff to do. It's not the fun or the sexy stuff, but it's important. So if you're just showing up and like you kind of half-ass to the warm-ups, well, the warm-ups are to get you good at jiu-jitsu, but it's also to get you to move well. I usually look around and see when people are doing like forward rolls, when they're doing break falls, like how their body moves. Are they stiff? Are they tight? Well, if they have tight muscles, they're probably going to pull a muscle in class at some point, right? If they can't move well because their hips are tight, that means their guard's going to struggle. So if you're doing jiu-jitsu for exercise, make sure you're doing that component. And that's not just lifting outside of class. It means all the things that go into being physically adept, right? Being an athlete. So you've got self-defense, competition, exercise, or being athletic. And one last thing I would say is the idea of building a skill. This is true of anything. If you're doing jiu-jitsu and you want to get better at it, you should have more goals than just the white, blue, purple, brown, and black belts. You should be thinking about what happens when I get to these levels. Do I want to stay at this gym? What about the friend circles I'm making, the social circles? So think about like the point of why you're doing jiu-jitsu and the goals behind it. Because for example, if you're like, I want to teach one day, well then you need to get good enough that you're credible so that you can teach. That does not mean you have to be amazing or a world champion, but you need to know your subject material enough to be able to teach it back to others that are interested. So just think of those goals and make sure they're in line with what you want out of life. This is an important concept. Don't just show up to class every day expecting the instructor to take care of the goals. You should be planning your goals for your life so that when you show up to class, you get the most out of the time that you're putting in. Thanks, guys.